Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Dr. Rhonda M. Lawson, and I am back from Indiana. I literally just walked in the door and came straight to the computer. So, crazy story. My flight was supposed to leave at 5 in the morning, and it did leave at 5 in the morning. But at 5:05, I was still in bed. So I missed my flight, and I wound up having to get a later flight. But I'm so happy that I made it here in time to talk to all of you guys. The Indiana Black Expo was amazing. I had a great time. Check out my Instagram and Facebook and TikTok pages. I'll be posting some more footage from my time there. And I also want to welcome. I I believe we have 100 new subscribers on the YouTube account. So I want to welcome all of you guys who are my new subscribers. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Team MTW. I hope you have a great time because we have a good time in the Horizons Author Lounge, and tonight will be no different. Tonight I have two very special guests. Both of them are from right here in the DMV area. I love it when I get to talk with local authors who are doing great things. And so I'm going to bring on our first guest, Reverend Kevin Wayne Johnson, and I got to make sure I say all three names. Kevin Wayne Johnson. Welcome to the Horizons Author Lounge. How are you tonight?
Thank you. Thank you. Good to see you, Rhonda, and glad you had a really, really good event up at the Indiana Black Expo. That's always good to hear. I've done that event a couple of
Yeah.
times few years ago, but I'm glad to hear that they're still going strong.
It's interesting because this year, and I did not know until I was walking through the airport when I landed in Indiana that Indianapolis was also hosting the WNBA All-Star Weekend.
Oh yeah,
So there were there were tall women everywhere.
I
But it
bet.
was really cool. Indianapolis gave them a great show. There was a huge basketball court set up in the middle of the airport. And then there was another basketball court set up downtown. They did fireworks every night, and they had a meet and greet going on right next door to the Black Expo. So I think we may have gotten a few of the people who came for the basketball events. So that was always good.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So tell before we get started with you, tell us, who is Kevin Wayne Johnson?
Well, I reside from Richmond, Virginia, going all the way back to great grandparents on both the maternal and the paternal side. Went to Richmond Public
Mm,
Schools, matriculated to Virginia Commonwealth University right there in Richmond. And then following graduation, about a year after I graduated, I moved into my federal government career, where I stayed for 34 years and retired 7 years ago. That's why I smile so much. And this season of my life, I stood up my own company, the Johnson Leadership Group, where my team and I pour into aspiring and seasoned leaders across
mm,
the entire marketplace. Churches, nonprofits, academic institutions, corporations, and government agencies. Now, in parallel with that journey, I also received a call from the Lord to go into ministry and to
mhm.
proclaim his word, proclaim the good news. So I have been ordained into the Christian ministry twice as a deacon, serving the local
Wow.
church, and as a minister, ultimately becoming an associate pastor and a senior pastor over these past 25 years. But what's interesting about the journey is that I've learned so much about leadership, and that's the space that I'm in. Do a lot of training, a lot of coaching, mentoring, teaching, facilitating, and that leads us to where we are now, having a conversation about the writing process, publishing, and being an author. I love to write. I've written a number of books since 2021. Actually, I made a mistake since 2001, on the topics of
Okay.
faith, book marketing, blended families, finance, strengthening men, and of course, leadership. So it's been a wonderful journey. I thoroughly enjoy it. You know, you do what you love to do, and you find time.
Absolutely.
So that's a little bit about who I am and where I am right now.
Wow, that's quite a journey, and you've done a lot. I mean, from federal government to the deputy to the leadership, mentoring leaders, and then also being a deputy pastor. So you do have a lot going on. How do you find the time for all of this?
Well, again, that's kind of why I prefaced it the way that I did. We always find time to do the things that we love.
This is true.
And I'm a firm believer, Rhonda, I'm a firm believer that all of us are born into the world to serve others. We all have gifts that come very naturally to us. And if we use those gifts to serve others, although it is work, it doesn't feel like work. And you always find time to do
Yes.
the things that you love. I enjoy leisure just as much as I enjoy work. I enjoy going to the pool because I'm a swimmer. I enjoy going out to the park because I'm a walker. I exercise, I stretch. I find time to do all of that. I love to write books. I love to teach, and I love to proclaim the gospel. And I find time to do it all because I love it.
Amen. Amen. Now, I'm really interested in the whole leadership aspect because you've really taken that and you've embraced it. So you started your company where you mentor leaders, but no, you also have a series of books that
Mhm.
discuss leadership with a servant's heart. In fact, that's the series, Leadership with a Servant's Heart. What does that actually mean?
So, what we do is we pour into, we equip, and we develop both aspiring leaders as well as those that are currently in their leadership positions, frontline, mid level, and senior level. And we're trying to get our leaders, those that have been entrusted to lead other people, we're trying to really get them to embrace and align with the fact that it's more than just what we know. We're,
Yes.
we're, we're expected to show up and have the acumen and the intelligence and the subject matter expertise as it relates to what we do every day. That's expected, and we get credibility for that. So we give leaders a hand clap. But what people are really looking for in their leader is whether or not they're going to get the resources and the information and the development and the training and the opportunity to cultivate their skills so they'll be ready for the next level or the next opportunity of responsibility. Translation: the pink elephant in the room is always whether or not this leader gives a care that I showed up today. Will they listen to
Yes.
me? Will they support me? Will they be an advocate? Will they share information? Will they embrace my ideas and my thoughts and my perspectives or not? That's what people are really thinking. They don't say it. That's why I called it the pink elephant in the room. So, leadership with a servant's heart then helps all of us who are entrusted to lead others to make sure that we align what's in our mind with what's in our heart. Because it's from the heart that we display empathy and compassion and respect and value and care. And then from the mind, again, comes the acumen, the intelligence, and the subject matter expertise. When those two align, you're going to tap into people who are going to want to follow you, not feel like
Mhm.
they have to follow you. And they will be high performers
Right.
and they will be high producers. They just will, because that's what people are looking for in their leaders. So when I study Barna, when I study Forbes, and when I study Gallup, I'm always into the data and statistics that they pour out consistently, year after year after year after year. All of the data shows that there remains a very wide gap between what people are looking for in their leader and what leaders are actually delivering. And so my company and my team, we show up so that we can uh, get that wide gap to be much narrower and helping leaders to understand what their real role is as a leader. So that was a long-winded answer, but there it is. I wrapped it all up right there.
No, well, no, I'm glad you did wrap it up that way because, being a leader myself, I served 23 years in the Army, and
Mhm.
I've seen great leaders, I've seen not so great leaders, and I've learned something from all of them. Sometimes I learned how I wanted to lead, and I've learned how I didn't want to lead. But even the people who I maybe exhibited the traits that I didn't want to emulate, they had great knowledge, and I still learned from them. So I liked what you said. It's not always what you know or how much you know, and I think that sometimes with leadership, some leaders don't want to admit that they don't know something because they think it makes them less of a leader, or
Mhm.
they don't want to ask for help, especially from someone who might be lower ranking than they are, because it may make them look like they're showing weakness. Have you ever heard any leaders who you've mentored say things like that?
Oh, all the time. They'll just come right out with it. Listen, you're lucky to have a job. You're lucky to be here. Do what I
Yeah,
say. If you don't get X, Y, and Z to me, I'm gonna write you up. And they're using coercion as a motivator. But let's be honest. We have 5 generations of people in the workplace right now at the same time, and those old school tactics don't work across the board. So we have to be
right,
flexible, we have to be adaptable, we have to be resilient, we have to pay attention to the audience. I've been the recipient of it, but I've also been guilty of it. And so that's where the learning takes place. You learn over time what doesn't work, or when you start to feel some of the pain, it reminds you of what you used to do to others and how they felt, but we just weren't aware. And now that I'm aware, we don't use that technique or that strategy anymore. So yeah, absolutely. I've seen it up close and personal. In some cases, I've had to step in and advocate for the person that's receiving the brunt of that type of leadership, and just kind of remind the leader that, hey, this is not the most appropriate way to lead, and here are the reasons why, helping them to
right.
understand the why so that they'll have a motivation now to change their behavior.
Absolutely. And another thing I've learned is that people are motivated differently. The way you lead with one person may not necessarily be the same way you're going to lead with another person. People are motivated differently, they learn differently, and they respond sometimes differently. So sometimes you have to really get to know the people you're leading so you can know exactly which approach to take with them.
Yeah, absolutely. And the only way that you're going to know is if you have a conversation with people. So part of the conversation that we always
Hmm.
encourage leaders to have is, having an informal conversation with people that you're leading, because you get a chance to know them better. But guess what? They get an opportunity to know you a little bit better. And when it's all said and done, everything is built on relationships anyway. The relationships are foundational to getting things done, and you're going to find that that's going to be very helpful and very crucial as a part of the chemistry and the camaraderie and the partnership and the cooperation that ideally should take place with those leaders that are doing a really, really good job, because people will embrace it. They'll be attracted to it. It'll be like a magnet. They'll want to show up. They'll be enthusiastic. They'll have zeal. They'll have energy, and they'll be on their toes with their ingenuity and their creativity to make the team better, to make the organization better. And ultimately, everybody within the sphere of influence will be better as well. So, I never say, Rhonda, it's easy. I never tell people it's easy. But what
Right.
we do is we just offer a number of different strategies and principles and what we call nuggets, tools, and tips for people to think about and use. And these tools, now you take them out of your toolbox as appropriate and you use them. I use the same analogy as a plumber, a roofer, a carpenter, and a car mechanic. They
Okay.
all use tools, but they use the tools that are most appropriate to their vocation. And what we do with leaders is we give them a plethora of tools. And like you said, Rhonda, depending on the person, depending on the project, depending on the team, depending on the organization, you determine what tool is best for that particular scenario and that particular situation. And that's the approach we take because, like you said, everybody is different.
Absolutely. Now, if we can talk a bit about your series, um, I believe there are four books in the series, or is it three books?
Three. We're
Three
we're
books
we're
in the
we're
series.
yeah, we're about to release book number three over the Labor Day weekend. I'm super excited. Print version, ebook version, and audiobook version. And we're going to have some good marketing behind these to get the word out, to encourage individuals and organizations to purchase, to make it a part of their library. And we're super excited. The reason that we're doing three versions is because it's important to be able to reach your audience. We live in a time
Mm-hmm.
where not everybody goes to the bookstore to purchase a book. Not everybody, some do, but many people just
Mm-hmm.
want to hear the audio version as they're traveling across the highways and the byways and maybe even the airways. And some people, because of the advent of technology and the advancement, just want to download to their favorite device. And so being able to
Mm-hmm.
reach a wide audience is why we're making the book available in these three different versions. Can't wait, super excited. It's book number three. The
Mm-hmm.
subtitle is Your Role as a Leader in Your Family. And what led me to this particular subtitle, Rhonda, for book three is really my humble beginnings because it was from a child in my family that I learned what leadership was really all about, starting at the age of 3.5 when my youngest brother was
Mm-hmm.
born, and having to help to raise him and learn about advocacy and negotiation and care and respect and love and support right there at home, so that as I got older I could take that out into the marketplace and apply it, and I saw that it works. And so that's kind of an executive
Right.
summary of what book number three is going to be all about. And we're going to be walking all of our readers through 17 chapters, specifically around leadership as it relates to the family. We're going to get into mom, dad, daughter, son, the different responsibilities that we all have to feed off of each other, to encourage and support each other, to inspire each other. And we also have some other data and statistics that we're adding in there as well. And then each chapter ends with thought provoking questions and discussion points where the family and others can get together and kind of do an
Okay.
executive summary of each chapter as they go through. So, super, super excited. Labor Day weekend will be available everywhere that books are sold.
Wonderful. Now, could actually get together and kind of discuss the question. So every person in the family can get something out of this book.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Every member of the family, whether you have multiple siblings or if you're an only child, has something to gain, something to glee from the book in terms of education, heightening your level of awareness,
Mhm.
knowledge. That's the approach that we take. So there's something in there for everybody.
Oh, that's wonderful. Now, I know you have a very aggressive campaign right now, getting the book into the hands of readers. Who specifically are the people who would benefit most? Is it any type of leader, or are these leaders in the church, or are these maybe heads of household, or is it kind of all of the above?
Yeah, it's really all of the above. When I use the term leaders, I always sort of unpack that and let us take a look at the vastness of the marketplace. So you have government.
Mm,
When you say government, we're talking city, county, state, and federal. you have corporations. When I say corporations, you have small, medium, and large. And then there's the church, the local church. And then, so that's faith based. And then you have nonprofits. And then you have the academic institutions, which include um, high school, 2-year community colleges, and 4-year accredited colleges and universities. So that's a pretty vast scope across the
Yes.
marketplace. And embedded in there are men and women who aspire to move into leadership positions. And then there are men and women who are currently in frontline, mid level, and senior level positions. So that's a pretty big audience, but that's the group of individuals that we're catering to and that we want to educate in this space of leadership.
Okay. So now I know we have a little bit of time left. So what I wanted to do, if we talked a lot about the book that's coming out, which is coming out in September. What are the two prior books?
So in 2019, Leadership with a Servant's Heart, Leading Through Personal Relationships was book number one, where we sort of set the tone and the foundation for the series, and reminding us all that everything is based on and predicated on good, wholesome, authentic relationships as a foundation to leadership. And then in 2022, book two was released, Leadership with a Servant's Heart, Leading in Your Workplace. And we
Hmm.
dive into mentoring and coaching and giving feedback. There's a lot of interesting and very specific techniques and strategies that leaders can use when it comes to leading people. So that leads us now to 2025, Leadership with a Servant's Heart, your role as a leader in your family. So the title remains the same. Each one has a slightly different subtitle to kind of
Hmm.
help us to learn yet another way of leading, not just through relationships, book one, not just in the workplace, book two, but your role as a leader in your family, now bringing it home to the family in book number three.
Wow. So I mean, I love this because this takes leadership full circle. I mean,
Mhm.
it's not just about going into the office, getting the job done, and it also kind of challenges the notion of the people who say, I don't want all of that touchy feely stuff. You just need to do what I say.
Exactly. Yeah, those days have kind of been left in the dust.
Yes, yes. I mean, you still
Although
find them though.
yeah, some still try it, but they're learning pretty quickly that it doesn't really fly anymore.
Absolutely. Now, what I think is really amazing is that your books have won a lot of awards. So
Yes,
the message is actually getting out there.
yes, yeah. I am and I have been. Like I said, I've been writing. My journey started in 2001, where I
Hmm.
wrote a series of books over a 10-year period, all about faith. So I've been actively involved and pretty much locked arm in arm with the publishing industry for now close to 25
Okay.
years. I know them, they know
Yeah.
me. And one of the wonderful things about book marketing and reaching a wide audience is to get our books as an author in front of these professional book reviewers and others in the publishing industry that really understand the merits of a good book that can resonate with its readers, and have
Hmm.
them to go from page one to page 225 and just do a thorough review and then publish it. And then as a result of that, they also have different opportunities where authors can can be the recipient of an award for their books, kind of like the motion picture industry, television, sports. I mean, you name it. They all have different opportunities to present awards. And so the book has come up consistently for a number of these different awards. We're grateful, we're thankful, we don't take it for granted, and making sure that as authors improve our craft over time, that we also kind of learn the nuances of the publishing industry, the ins and out,
Right.
who's who. So from that perspective, you're right. The books have gotten a great deal of visibility in order to get in front of these audiences and to be the recipient of these awards. So I'm very, very grateful and thankful for it.
So, what's next? Are we going to be looking at some TEDx talks coming from you?
Whatever the book marketing team has for me, I'll take a look at it, and we'll evaluate it, have a conversation about it. And if we feel that it's something worthy to pursue, then absolutely. And if not, then we'll say next.
I got it. I got it. I did have a TEDx speaker on here, Dr. Mo. She was on last year, I believe, and she did a TEDx talk that got millions of views on YouTube, Instagram, and so forth. So this could be a good stepping stone for you. We might have to look
All right.
into it.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see.
So the current book, or excuse me, the book that's coming. Oh yeah, I did want to ask this question came up from the YouTube audience. Does your book talk about correcting toxic leadership as well? And I know we talked a little bit about that, but do you want to
Yeah.
maybe address that directly?
Yeah. So toxic leadership, in my humble opinion, based upon what I have observed and what I have studied over several decades, three to four decades, it
Hmm.
gets down to accountability. Toxic leadership continues because at some point there's no one to hold that person or people accountable.
Right.
And the silence to them is a green light to continue. So you and I have to do something, and we have to say something when we see people negatively impacted by toxic leadership. But here's the key: help that toxic leader understand why they're being
Hmm.
held accountable. Because oftentimes it's in the understanding that can get them to convert, to change, to flex, and to be more adaptable. Many times it's in the understanding. So don't just jump down a person's throat and say, you, but kind of help them to understand that that type of leadership is really not effective for that individual, for that team, and for the organization. And I have seen that be the impetus for getting them to change direction in terms of their style of leadership. So that's just one of a couple of different strategies that we use. But to do nothing gives them the green light to continue to do what they're doing.
Right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Well, we have about a minute left. If you can tell us, how can we purchase the book? I know it's not yet hit stands yet, but are we able to do pre-orders?
Yeah. So the plan is for we want to move into a 30-day pre-publication campaign launch. So we're targeting August the 2nd because the book will be available on September the 2nd. We're targeting the 30 days from August the 2nd through September the 2nd for everyone who is interested to purchase their pre-pub copy at 50% off. So whatever the
Nice.
retail price is, we're going to slash it in half, and that's going to be applicable for the audio, for the ebook, and the print. Why? Because as an author, and the way that the publishing industry works is that you want to put yourself in a position to generate as many pre-pub sales as we possibly can, because
Absolutely.
that's going to set it up for some great success once it's available on the actual launch date. So more to
Hmm.
come on that. You're going to hear much more about it, but that's something that's been in my heart for a good little while that I want to do for all of my readers around the globe, and we're excited about it. So more information to come.
And another good thing about it is that you've already had some people to read the book already, and they've given you some amazing reviews. So
10.
10 reviews so far.
Yeah.
That is
Well, Saint,
amazing.
yeah, Saint Lucia, UK, Kenya, Africa, because we have a globe. This is a global initiative, and then of course here in the United States of America as
Yes.
well. So we're super excited about people around the globe that have already read the manuscript and have already submitted their reviews. So we'll be populating those as well.
Well, congratulations already. I already know that this book is going to be a huge
Thank you, thank you,
success.
thank you.
And I'm looking forward to being on that journey and just seeing how things go and how this works because I'm learning a lot from just the way you're moving, and I appreciate being a part of your team.
All right, excellent. Glad to have you on board.
Thank you. Well, you have a
All right.
wonderful evening. May God bless you. This is everybody, Kevin Wayne Johnson. He is talking about his Leadership with a Servant's Heart series, and the new book is
Leadership with a Servant's Heart, and the subtitle
Mhm.
is Your Role as a Leader in Your Family.
Wonderful. So September 2nd, but pre-sales will be launched on August 2nd. So make sure you get your copy. The link is below. Thank you once again, Kevin, and we'll talk soon.
All right. Thank you so much. See you soon.
Okay, bye-bye. Have a great one.
All righty.
All right, y'all, that was Kevin Wayne Johnson. So now we're going to move right into the interview with our next guest. I hope he's there because I don't see his camera on. Malik, if you're there, go ahead and turn your camera on and then we'll bring you on screen. But in the meantime, so I told you I was in Indiana for the Indiana Black Expo. So I am now preparing for the next leg on the trip. I'll be going to Atlanta for the National Book Club Conference, which is August 1st through the 3rd. So if you're in the Atlanta area, I would love to meet you. I'll be there with my partner in crime, Gwen Richardson, um, from the National Black Book Festival and Black Authors Matter TV. She's my co-host for that show. So we're going to be there promoting the show, selling T-shirts, and of course selling books. And I really want to see you guys there. So now, in the meantime, let's go ahead and meet our next guest. Hello, Malik.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. So we just met, I think, last week, I believe it was, at the teachers conference.
Yes.
How did you enjoy it? It seemed like it was a really beautiful event. Everybody was so excited about their awards. Um, one of my good friends won her award, and then a lady who had purchased my book, she won an award. So she brought the book back and said, "Okay, now you have to say something about me winning the award." Everybody was so excited. I think it was beautiful. It was my first time seeing it.
Right, right. It was wonderful. I had so much fun. It was so encouraging to hear all the stories and backgrounds. I had so much fun that I actually got your book too, and I left it at the table having so much fun on the dance. I'm looking forward to buying another one.
It happens. It happens. Well, you know what? Maybe the book will be a blessing to somebody else.
That's right. I see.
So why don't you go ahead and tell the people about yourself?
So I am a paraprofessional lead teacher for the kindergarten autism and
Wow.
Siouxland Elementary. I am a author. I am a musical artist. I do ministry as the Lord leads, and I am an armor bearer as the Lord leads as well. Some things I've done along the way. I've been a volunteer for the Veteran Benefits Administration by the White House. I was in Boy Scouts. I've been a director for the YMCA, a wrestling coach, and some other factors of the like.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Oh, I also mentioned I saw the guy. I'm sorry, but I saw the guy mention swimming. I have been a swim coach and a lifeguard too as well. So I thought that was a cool connection.
I don't know how you did all of this and you're only 15 years old.
Right. Black don't cry.
That's
It's,
amazing.
it's just a passion for wanting to be the best me possible and wanting to make an impact on the earth that can be beneficial towards others and myself.
And by the way, people, just in case you believe me, this man is not 15 years old. I was just playing. I don't want y'all thinking that I'm talking to this a 15-year-old prodigy or something.
Hey, I have been told I was a prodigy as I tell my testimony, but no, not 15. I'll be 29 in November. I'm 28 right now.
Wonderful. Well, you don't look 28 either, so it's all good. We'll just stick with 15.
Right, right. Keep the youth in.
But no, that is a lot. So it seems like you have an actual calling for working with kids.
Yes, yes. It's actually funny. I didn't know that I would be working with kids. The Lord revealed to me my purpose. Well, let me backtrack. The Lord revealed to me how this earth was back in 2005 when I was 9 years old. And as 9 to 10 years passed, he revealed what he wanted me to do with it back in 2015 to 16. And so I
Mhm.
ended up dropping out of college and then finishing up at PG Community College. But then I got baptized. I started learning scripture, studying, reading, and just started ministering and praying for people outside in the streets in DC, Maryland, and Virginia. And just seeing what else God has in store, trials and tribulations. But one thing I do know is no matter what, he stuck with me. And all of a sudden, when that time when I dropped out, my sister was working for the YMCA, and she was like, "Why don't you just come on board?" And I was like, But then I went, and I was like, "Wow, like this is really cool." And then I just developed a heart for children that I never had. I had a heart for all people, but it's specifically for making sure that the children are walking in a way that they should walk, developed even more. So I've just been so inspired. The kids actually kept me up in my journey as well, which I didn't expect. I expected to make sure that they were up and always running, but it's been times where I was down and they saw it and they lifted me up. So I'm eternally grateful for that.
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful testimony. And so I'm quite sure you share your testimony as a lot. And if you don't, you really should, because you're gonna inspire somebody with that.
Oh wow, I do. I share it as much as I can.
Good, good, good. And the reason why I asked about it being a calling is because we all know teaching is not for everybody. And it just seemed like when you started to list off your accomplishments, all of them had some type of a teaching component to it. So I think, God knew that you were a teacher before you even knew that you were a teacher.
Yep. He sure did, because the responsibility I felt, that's one thing I learned as a kid. I felt so
Mhm.
much responsibility. And as I learned scripture, it says those who teach will be judged in a weightier matter. And so that affirmed to me the responsibility I felt as a child.
So tell me about the book that you wrote. I believe it's a poetry book, isn't it?
Yes, yes. So I actually have it right here if people wanted to see it. It is in the link. It's The
Okay.
Future Phases of a Hidden Light by Malik Jones, of course. This is the back, and you can see a little bit of it, how it is coming in, poems and lessons that I've learned across the journey. And it's just it started off as a poem about how I wanted to see the earth and how it was revealed to me in a dream. And it traumatized me back then, and I just
Mm.
to let go of the trauma, I started writing. And so I wrote and wrote and wrote until I felt there was no trauma. And as time progressed on, and he revealed to me, okay, this is what I wanted you to do. Stop hiding yourself, because I was in a sort of hiding stage, or cave, as you will, for about 9 to 10 years. And God was basically finally,
Mm.
it's time to come out. It's time to share what I've been, wanting you to do. And I was like, man, no, like what? But then yes, as time progressed, it was like I had no choice, but it was a way that I had no choice, that I wanted to have no choice. Like I asked God,
Mm.
like, give me no choice but to go out there. I didn't want to hide anymore. I didn't want to not share what I wanted to offer into the world. And so he gave me that. And I asked him to give me a thorn in the flesh. And for those who don't know what that is basically asking God to keep you humble, so that you can continue on your walk in a humility state. And so it's about these poems in here show testimony, show how I think about the earth. It shows what he wanted me to do. Him is basically like scribe writing. Like, it's the whole poems in there of him sharing what his thoughts about me. And it's also about love,
Mhm.
up, you see somebody you like, so it's love poems in there so people can relate to all of that. And so it's just a raw book. I leave no cut cards out. um and it has like language and just to show my heart and when I wrote it. And I also gave an acronym for side note, I actually gave an acronym. The Lord gave me acronyms for any man-made cuss word that there was, because he said the people have been giving the enemy too much credit. And he said, I am the word, and so therefore I can make what a word means, not what the enemy or what man made. And then he
Mhm.
back to the original curse, which was from him actually. The enemy had a curse and God had a curse, and God's curse was to help us understand and be appreciative, and the enemy's curse was to destroy. And so God allowed me to see the difference. And so God's curse was to for the women it was childbearing, and for the men it was work labor, it being harder.
Mhm.
And so I revealed that the enemies was to destroy, not to get what you want and everything like that. So for example, I'll just give an example. The word DAMN, drinking a meaningful nectar, or FUCK, forever ultimately Christ-like kisses. Greet each other with the holy kiss, or the right answer. So God
Mm.
just gave me all of these little well, I'm not going to call them little, but these acronyms to bring glory back to God. And it might be a weak or strong believer type moment, but it also will bring glory to God on words that the enemy used against him. So that was a nice a piece of the book that I added to as well.
That's
Um,
interesting, and I like the way you broke that down. And sometimes we just need to reframe some of the things that we see every day or hear every day.
Yes, and that is a big element too as well, especially even with the rainbow. So the Lord has allowed the knowledge base of it to really grow in the aspect. We don't condemn, we don't give false judgment. We're here to love, we're here to support, but we also here to give grace and truth, so that we can understand history and understand what God is really doing with everything that is happening.
Wow. So who is your book for? What who is your ideal reader?
Ideal reader would definitely be those who love poetry, and those who are searching for their purpose and destiny. I would say I've gotten good compliments in any range of age, from young youth, Gen Z, all the way up to baby boomers and higher.
Mhm.
So that was I was shocked because I expected it to be for my generation. Um, when I shared it, it showed that it can be multifaceted in all aspects and all age groups. And so basically,
Absolutely.
those who are searching for yes, thank you, and definitely those who are searching for purpose and wanting to relate and finally share their own testimony. If those I've witnessed those being trapped in testimonies that they never shared. And as soon as I share mine, they tell me it's enlightening, thank you, this is encouraging and inspiring me for me to write a book. So I end up,
Mhm.
how to write a book as well. Mine is self-published from Amazon KDP Select, and I'm able to even share that, because some people in their walk may not have enough resources to pay for a publisher and anything like that. So
Right.
teach them, how to have a self-published book. You can do it on Microsoft Word. They could teach you how to do it. You just get it copywritten and go from there. So it's really inspiring to see when I share how I inspire others to go for their dreams, go for their testimony, go for their purpose, and don't be scared. Don't be trapped in the box like I was. Don't be
Yeah.
scared trapped in your own mind, to be trapped in your own body.
And that kind of leads to what I wanted to ask you, because you said when you were trapped in that box,
Mhm.
God was the one who pulled you out of it. You heard his voice and he gave you direction. Um,
Yes.
some people don't know how to do that. They may be looking for their purpose, but how do they know that it's God talking to them versus something that they just want to hear? Because I think sometimes we hold out like that's not really what I want to hear, so that can't be God talking. But
Mhm.
it could be God talking to you and maybe leading you in a different direction or taking you out of your comfort zone. So how do
Yes.
we know the difference?
I would say basically the word. If it correlates with the word, a
Mm,
big one is Galatians 5:22-23, fruits of the spirit. 1 John 4:2, and keeping your spirit intact. Yeah, that would be your guideline. So for me, the first thing I did when God revealed to me the purpose was I double checked. It's a family proverb that I get from my mom saying trust and confirm. And so
mhm,
even when God told me this, I still went to scripture. That I didn't just say, "Oh, God said this." Like as soon as He revealed that to me, I went to the book and I wanted to see for
mhm,
myself, in a good way that okay, what you're telling me does line up. And that's when I got the confirmation that okay, this is what you're telling me. This is true. This is what you want me to do because I didn't even trust it. So I will always say go to the book because that's your guideline. And once I did that, it revealed to me like everything that I was being told by God was in that book. It was based upon Galatians. It was based upon keeping your spirit intact. It was based upon the gospel. It was based upon everything that Christ died and resurrected for, not just died, but also resurrected for. It was based upon health. It was based upon bringing people together. And so that was my confirmation.
mhm. And you just said a word. I can see you ready to preach.
I do. I preach all the time as the Lord wills, and I like to say as the Lord wills because in my journey, I also learned that you can crutch people and give too much help to the point where they're not learning.
Right,
And
right,
and
right.
yeah, so and that's a lesson I had to learn very hard. I ended up being doing more damage at one point than good because they ended up being attached to you know whatever I can help with instead of learning to be sufficient with the Holy Ghost in your own right. So
Mm,
that was one thing I really learned. So I always say when I minister as the Lord leads. Sometimes He tells me to say no. Sometimes He tells me, you need to do this, you need to do that. I cannot help you with that, but I can help you guide you
mhm.
to find your answer. So that was the lesson in itself.
I love that. Now, I did want to also ask you. You mentioned at the top of the show that you are a paraprofessional. What exactly is that?
A paraprofessional is someone who helps the teacher in the classroom. They're the second in command. If the teacher's not there, they lead the classroom. If the teacher is away on a call, they're leading the classroom. They're making sure the work is being done while the teacher handles um, um, paperwork and things like that. So they're just overall helping the classroom. Um, I would say for PG County, it's a lack of teachers. So if anybody's watching this and want to be a teacher, please come on board. So because I'm a paraprofessional, they made me as lead teacher in leading the classroom and gave me studies to take certifications and things as well so that I can be on point with making sure I could lead as well. You have to take a
Okay.
praxis, but it's not that hard as long as you study. So don't get hyped up in
Hmm.
it. So like I said, if you want to be a teacher, please come on board. There is things online you can study with, and the praxis is very easy as long as you study what the practice says to praxis.
My people calling me during the show.
Right. Hey, I feel you report very
Look, it be
VIP.
your own. It be your own people. My
Right.
family knows I do a show every Monday and Tuesday. Y'all, my family. I do a show every Monday and Tuesday night. Y'all can't call me between 7 and 10.
That just shows how important you are. You're multifaceted. You have what it takes. You have a lot
I
of
mean, I guess. But no, that's very interesting about the paraprofessional because I've heard the term, but I wasn't exactly sure what it was. I thought that it was the actual teacher. So it's really more of kind of like I don't want to. It's a little bit a step above a teacher's assistant. You're kind of. Would you
Correct,
say
correct,
that?
correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So if the teacher's there, there's no need for a sub if the paraprofessional's there, because the paraprofessional is going to step up and lead the classroom. The sub can be there as extra support, but the paraprofessional is the one who's going to step up, even if the teacher's out for long periods. It will be the paraprofessional,
Okay.
up. Or even if they don't have a teacher at all, it would be the paraprofessional who steps up, takes the certifications, and makes sure everything gets done. Which is actually funny too in DC, which I'm hoping Merle can ride on with. You can actually be in a paraprofessional shadow in
Hmm.
certain aspect. I don't know if it's for the whole district, but I know in certain parts you can shadow as a paraprofessional and get your teacher's license from that.
Oh
So
wow.
they're really
So,
working on making sure that we get what we need.
so what are the qualifications to be a paraprofessional? I'm quite sure you have to have a degree.
Yes.
You said you have to take the praxis exam.
Yes.
The-
So really you actually just need the praxis. I do have an associate's degree. But you do need to take the
Okay.
praxis actually in Maryland. I don't even think it matters if you have an associate's or not. If you have to take the praxis regardless. Um,
Oh, that's
and
interesting.
yes, yes. And if you have a degree, chances are they're going to try to skip you. If you have a bachelor's or higher, chances are, depending on what it is in, they're going to try to jump you up to be a teacher because they want to make sure that every classroom is covered.
Are you looking at possibly being a teacher?
If the Lord wants, yes. I love the kids. I love what I do. I am a musical artist as well and an author, so I've been balancing, making sure that I do the things in the classroom as well as press more out. I
Yeah.
have in the classroom that I'm not able to be my full potential. So that I'm able to get my book out. I'm able to do shows. I'm able to do this. I'm able
Yeah.
to do that. And being a paraprofessional
Mm.
actually helps because I have more time outside of the classroom. And being a lead, I had to stay late. I had to do a lot of things that stopped me from, going out and doing what I needed to do. So I will pray about it and I'll ask the Lord. But this right now, I'm kind of cool right here. I don't mind going back and getting a bachelor's degree and doing things in that avenue. However, as long as it's in the cards for God, if He wants it, I want it. I'll say that.
I
But
love
I
that.
think
Well, I love that, and I love that you plan your life basically based
yes,
on God's will for you. You're not
yes,
doing just what you think sounds good or what you want to do. You actually go to God and you consult Him before you make your next step. And I think
yes.
that's something that we all should learn from. I mean, even I'm a Christian as well. I
Mhm.
know I probably should do it a lot more as well. Just before I start making moves, ask God, is this what you want from me?
Right.
And I really believe that a lot of times what we're doing is we're saying, okay, this sounds good. This must be what God wants. And it
Yeah,
may not be
yeah.
what God wants.
It may have something even higher than that. And we think like in our finite mind, is as it's written in the word, his thoughts are higher than ours. So in our finite mind, we might think this is the best he wants for us, but he has a
Yeah,
whole another avenue, and that might be the process. Like that, you might not even have gotten to that whole another avenue had that thing not been in place.
there
So
you go.
I had to learn not to get upset because I used to get upset and tell God I'm confused. But I had to learn not to get upset because He says, son, you wouldn't have even known the bigger and higher mindset that I wanted had that not even happened. So it wasn't
Mm,
necessarily about confusion. It was about kind of like a maze or a puzzle. So it's like, okay, so you might see one piece that might not be the piece you was looking for, but now you know it's a corner piece. You was looking for a middle piece, but
absolutely.
now you have a corner piece, and now you have another corner piece, and so on and so forth. So it's just a fun way of learning how God works. um and it's amazing. It's amazing. There's a I don't watch TV unless it's wholesome. However, there's a show I used to watch, and I'm trying to remember the name of it. It was um God messaged me or something like that. It was an atheist, and God would
I know exactly what you're talking about. I forgot the name of the show, but
right.
yeah, basically he got a text and it was actually God messaging him.
Right. And so it was the
Yeah.
fun aspect of the mystery of what it is. And even though he was an atheist, he enjoyed the journey. He sought it out. It's the glory of God to conceal the matter and the honor of kings to search it out. So it's supposed to be a fun journey no matter what happens. If you went to the wrong place or if you talked to the wrong person, but then find out who to talk to or find out where to go. It's supposed to be a fun journey.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. So we are actually running out of time, unfortunately. I did want to ask you, you're a music artist, so do you
Yes.
sing? Do you play?
I do sing, I do rap. A lot of my music is started through rap. However, I did implement singing. I do play the trumpet. I forgot how to read.
Okay.
So I want to go back and remember how to read again and learn how to read again. But I do play trumpet. I still know how to play the notes, but I just forget how to read. So you can look on my YouTube channel at MAJNN111, or you could simply check out the link in the description, and you could just scroll down till you see a YouTube video. You can click that. There are a lot of links in there, so feel free
And
to
we
journey.
we do have your link tree on the screen right now.
Yes. So you could just follow that link tree. It is a lot of stuff. So I'm not going to say you have to look at everything, but if you see something that catches the eye, go for it.
Love it, love it, love it. So remind us again the name of your book and how we can find it.
Yes. So the name of the book is "The Future: The Phases of a Hidden Light." You can check it out on Amazon. It is in the link tree. So you just have to go to the link tree and go all the way till you see Amazon "Future: The Phases of a Hidden Light," and you could just click that. It goes straight to Amazon right there. You can get it on Kindle or you can get it in a paperback copy.
Awesome. When I was in Indiana, a lot of people were asking if there were some sales I didn't make because they don't read paperback anymore. They only read ebook. So they were like, "Can I find your book on Amazon? And do you have it in ebook?" I'm like, "Yes, it's an ebook." Okay, I'm gonna get it that way. Then I had
Yes.
somebody else say, "Well, do you have it in audio?" I'm like, "Not yet. I'm working on it."
Yeah, I said the same thing because the guy at Costco said the same thing. He said you should put it in audio. So I said, okay, you got a point. So that's coming soon.
Yeah. And I think yours would be really good because you can incorporate some of your music into it. That could be really nice.
That's interesting.
See? See?
Okay. I like how you think. I'm gonna have to write that down because this is I want to
Yes.
put an instrumental in, and then something coming up. This new album coming out is going to be poem and song. So it's going to be
Mhm.
poetry song, mission based, family, love song. Is going to have every
I
aspect,
love it.
success stories and motivation.
I
Thank
love it. I love it. Well, I wish you all the best, Malik. I really enjoyed our conversation, and
you.
as always, I learned a little bit when I talked to my guests, and you were no different. You taught me some things that I need to think about in my own journey, and I appreciate that.
Thank you. You taught me as well. I'm gonna look into that instrumental, and then as a refresher to know what I need to do to stay on board and keep going forward in the straight and narrow.
Hey, stay in touch if there's anything you need or if you have a question. I'm here for you.
Always. I'm gonna keep that in mind. I'm gonna hold you to it too.
Yeah, you better. All right. Well, you have a wonderful evening. May God continue to bless you and all that you do. And I hope you sell a lot of books. Everybody, make sure you click that link and purchase Malik's book. It's a very, very powerful poetry book. Some great poems in there. And I can't wait to hear it on audio because it's going to be bomb.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. And I'm gonna get right to it.
All righty. All right. You have a great night.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. All right, y'all. That was Malik Jones, and this is the end of the show. So thank you so very much for supporting the Horizons Author Lounge. Like I said, thank you and welcome to the 100 subscribers who joined the Team MTW family over the weekend. I really appreciate you. And if you have not yet subscribed to the Meet the World Image Solutions YouTube page, please go ahead and do so. We are so close to being able to monetize this show, monetize the channel, and that's going to help us to be more of a service to the authors, the hundreds of authors who have been on the show. I really would like to continue to support you all and to be able to do more for you. And monetizing the channel is just one of the ways that I'll be able to do that. So if you haven't done so already, go ahead, go to the Meet the World Image Solutions YouTube page and click subscribe so we can go ahead, get to that 1,000 subscribers, and then really get this show on the road to monetization. But we can't do it without your support. So thank you in advance. We appreciate you. We love you. I will see you tomorrow night on Black Authors Matter TV on the National Black Book Festival Facebook page. And then I'll see you right back here next week with 2 more amazing authors. Thank you so much. God bless you and have a great week.